Well, hey guys, welcome back to the topic quiz retake video, just to help you guys understand how to do this video. And so let's go from there. Let me pull it up here and let's get to work. All right, so the first problem says identify the y-intercept and the slope of each line. Okay, so if this one, guys, whenever you have a flat line, see how this line is flat right here? It's not up, it's not down, it's flat. That means you have a slope of 0. And your y-intercept, that's just where it crosses the y-axis. So your y-intercept is going to be at 3. Okay, so your slope is 0 and your y-intercept is 3 on the first one. Let's take a look at this one. Well, what's your slope on this one? Well, before you can find the slope, you want to find two good points. So the origin looks like a good point, the poo, and this point looks good right here. So we're going to rise 1, 2, 3, and run 1. So it looks like our slope is going to be 3 over 1, or just 3. And then our y-intercept is going to be 0. Okay? All right, so what's the next one here? So this one, let's see here. This looks like a good point right here. And this one looks pretty good right here. I don't know, there could be closer ones together, but I think those will work. So our slope is definitely positive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'll just put 6 here. And then 1, 2, 3. So 6 over 3. 6 divided by 3 is 2. So your slope is 2. And your y-intercept is down here at negative 3. So your y-intercept is negative 3. Okay, let's keep moving on. All right, this next one is definitely a negative slope because the right arrow faces down. Whenever your right arrow faces down, you're a negative slope. So I'll go ahead and put a negative in there. And let's see here. This looks like a good point here. And this looks like a good point here. So you're going to rise 1, 2, 3. You're going to go down 3 over 1. So it's negative 3 for your slope. And it looks like you're going to have a y-intercept of 2. Okay? Because there's your y-intercept right there. It's where it crosses the y-axis. All right, and then there's all your answers. Hopefully those all lined up somewhere on your choices. Okay. All right, so this one we want to graph this guy on the coordinate plane. Well, let's see the point they give us. So remember, with point slope, it's y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So if I'm looking at the point is going to be right here. It's going to be this y value and this x value. Okay, so our point, it looks like our point is going to be at y value of 6, because remember, it's always opposite. So if it's minus, it's positive. So this is going to be a positive 6 for our y value. And since this is a positive 2, this is going to be a negative 2 for our x value. So it's always opposite. Okay? So there's our point, and then our slope is just right here. Here's our slope out in front. So m equals negative 3 over 2. And so now we're going to go ahead and graph the point and the slope and go from there. So your point is negative 2, 6. So you go left 2, up 6. So I think that's the point we want to graph. And then we want to use our slope to make more points. So we're going to drop down 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to run 2. 1, 2, and put a point. We're going to drop down 3. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to run 2. 1, 2. And we could keep doing that process as long as we want. But I'm going to see if I can make a line here. So if my line maker tool behaved for me here. So let's do this. Got that. We can extend this out a little bit. So your line should look something like that. Okay. All right. Next problem. We want to go to this guy. So we want to fill in the blank. We want to complete the equation on this one. Let's make sure I got it. Okay. All right. So the big thing on this one is we want to make sure that we're only counting by what they have. So on this one, it looks like they're counting by 10 on the y-axis, and they're counting by 1 on the x-axis, okay? So first of all, I'm noticing that my y-intercept is right here at positive 20. So I'll just write this off to the side. My b equals positive 20. Now, I'm going to see if I can find another good point somewhere. Well, let's see here. This looks like I have a good point right here. That looks like a good point right there. That looks like it hits exactly, okay? If I'm reading that right, I got my glasses on so I can see better here. All right, so now let's go see how much we have to go up here. So it looks like we're going to have to rise 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So we rise 60 and we run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we run 5. So remember, guys, slope is always change in y over change in x. So my slope, I'll write my slope over here. So it's m equals the change in y is 60, and the change in x is 5. And then if we want to simplify that, we go 60 divided by 5. 5 goes into 6 one time. 5 times 1 is 5. Subtract, we get, what do we get here? We get 1. So we get 2, right? So we get 12. So our slope is going to be 12. Positive 12. Our y-intercept is 20 right here. So now we're ready to write our equation. Y equals, so let's see here, y equals mx plus b. So my m is 12, so y equals 12x plus, what's my y-intercept? My y-intercept is 20. So y equals 12x plus 20. And that's my answer. All right, let's take a look at the next one. Okay, so we want to choose all these. Let me make this a little smaller so we can see it in one graph here. One page here. Do a little bit smaller here. Sorry about that. Just want to be able to see the equations and the graph at the same place. Okay, so let's do the first one. So let me just look at the directions here really quick. So it says, which equations represent this line? Okay, so we could have a lot of these. So let's just do this. We'll just kind of go through it and we'll see. There's some of them we won't have to put in slope-intercept form. We'll just notice, and some of them we'll do. Okay, so the first one is this. So this one has a y-intercept of -1. So that's your b. So yep, -1 is right here. So that's good so far. And your slope is rise 2, run 3. So if we rise 2, 1, 2, and we run 3, 1, 2, 3, we're right on the line. So this one works. So A is yes. Now B, I'm not sure about, so let me go ahead and, so what I'm going to do is with B, I'm just going to put it in slope-intercept form, and if it's the same equation as A, I'll be good to go. If it's not the same equation of A, it will not be good to go. So let me go over here. I'm going to go 2x plus 3y equals 2. So let's see here. I'm going to do a little fairness bar. I'll subtract 2 x's from both sides. So now I get 3y equals -2x plus 2. And then I'll divide everything by 3. So now there's a lot of things that are wrong with this one. So the equation that I get is y equals -2/3 x plus 2/3, right? So a couple things are wrong. It's not the same equation. It's just not. So B, you don't work. I'm not going to talk about. Let's see here. C won't work because C has a negative slope, and this one obviously has a positive slope. So C's not going to work. Let's try D really quick. See what happens there. Let me erase this one. Okay, let's do that. So let's try D. So your equation is 3x plus 2y equals -2. And so we'll subtract 3 x's from both sides. So we do that. So we get 2y equals -3x minus 2, right? I think I have that right there. And then we'll divide everything by 2, everything by 2, everything by 2. So we'll get y equals negative 3 over 2x minus 1. Now, here's the problem here, guys. I'm going to just get rid of my face here. Here's the problem is that this is a negative slope and this is a positive slope for a. So this will not work because it's a negative slope. So D, you don't work. All right, so now let's go to E. Okay, so E is y minus 3 equals 2/3 x minus 1. Okay, so we'll do this. We'll go ahead and I'm just going to do the distributive property here. So I get y minus 3 equals 2/3 x minus 2/3, right? And then I will add 3 to both sides. Add 3 to both sides to get that. So what do we get here? So we get y equals 2/3 x plus. Now let's see here. Negative 2/3, and so this is 3 multiplied. That's 9/3. So 3 is equal to 9/3. And then if you take 9/3 minus 2/3, you get 7/3. So anyways, that's not going to work. So it's not going to be, because we need to have minus 1 right here. And this is 7/3. So that's not going to work. So not a lot of stuff is working so far, guys. All right, let's do the last one here. So E, you don't work. So now let's go ahead and do F. I'll do F in blue right here. So F is x minus 1 equals 2/3 times x minus 3. Okay? So now I'm going to take the 2/3, I'm going to multiply it times the x, and I'm going to take the 2/3, I'm going to multiply it times the 3. So we have x minus 1 equals 2/3 x minus 2/3 times 3 over 1. Okay? Well, what happens there? Well, the 3's cancel out. The 3's become 1's, and they cancel out. So now I have y minus 1 equals 2/3 x minus 2, right? I do that right? So, and we want 2/3 x minus, and then now we have to add 1 to both sides. Add 1 to both sides to get the y by itself. And so now we get y equals 2/3 x minus 1, because negative 2 plus 1 is equal to negative 1. So yeah, that works. So this one actually does work. So the two answers that worked are A and F. All right, a lot of ones that didn't, but 2 of them did. Okay. All right, next one. Indicate whether the lines represent the same line, parallel lines, or neither. Okay, so here's the deal. Let me just write a little key here. So if they're neither, all that we care about is the slopes are different. Okay? If they're the same, then same slope, same y-intercept. And if they're parallel, it's same slope, different y-intercept. Okay, so that's the key we're going to do here. All right, so let's see here. So these two. Now I'm not sure about line B because I need to put it in slope-intercept form. So let me put this in slope-intercept form really quick. So I have negative 6x plus 3y equals negative 8. And so what I'll do here is I'll add 6x to both sides to get rid of the minus 6x. I'll add 6x to both sides. So now I get 3y equals 6x minus 8. Now after that, I'm going to divide everything by 3, everything by 3, everything by 3. So I get, pull this down a little bit here, guys. So I get y equals, well, if 6 divided by 3 is 2, 2x minus 8 thirds. Okay? Well, yeah, they're the same. So this, when I simplified this one in slope-intercept form is y equals 2x minus 8 thirds. So they are the same line. They have the same slope and the same y-intercept. 2 is your slope, negative 8 thirds is your y-intercept. So they are the same. All right, let's do this one. All right, so this one has a, okay, so this one, let's put this one in slope-intercept form. So we have y minus 5 equals negative 3 times x plus 1. Do the distributive property. So we have y minus 5 equals negative 3x minus 3. And then we'll add 5 to both sides. We'll add a 5 here, and we'll add a 5 to this. So this one is going to be y equals negative 3x plus 2. So this one is going to be y equals negative 3x plus 2. All right, so the next equation is, let's do this one. And this equation is, let's do this one in red. So we have 3x plus y equals 2. All this one we have to do is just subtract 3x from both sides. Subtract 3x from both sides. So we get y equals negative 3x plus 2, right? So same line again, because it's the same thing. Y equals negative 3x plus 2. So that is going to be same line. Okay? All right. This one right here, well, let's see. Well, let's write an equation for this one. So our y-intercept is 2. So we get y equals mx plus, well, 2, because your y-intercept, let's find 2 good points here. So here's a good point right here. So our rise is 1, 2, and our run is 1, 2, 3. So we rise 2 and run 3. So this equation right here is y equals 2/3 x plus 2. And so this one is minus 2, and this one's plus 2, but they have the same slope, so that means they are parallel lines. Same slope, different b. One has a y-intercept of negative 2, and one has a b of positive 2. So negative 2 and positive 2. Okay? Does that make sense? All right, let's keep moving on, keep moving on. All right, so same deal here. Let's see here. Let's do this one. This one, let's put it in slope-intercept form. So it's 5x minus y equals negative 1. So let's subtract 5 x's from both sides. So we get negative y equals negative 5x minus 1. Now let's put a 1 right here next to that y, guys. And so that's a negative 1. So we'll divide everything by negative 1 to cancel out the negative y. Choo-choo. All right, and now we have y equals negative 5x divided by negative 1 is 5x, and negative 1 divided by negative 1 is positive 1. So your equation is y equals 5x plus 1. Your equation is y equals 5x plus 1. Now this equation is, well, you know, your y-intercept is 1, a negative 1, sorry, and your slope is, let's see here, we'll go from here to here. So it's rise 1, run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this equation right here, I'll do this one in red. This equation is going to be, this equation is going to be y equals 1/5 x minus 1. So yeah, the slopes aren't the same, guys. They have a slope of 1/5 and a slope of 5. So they are not the same. Therefore, they're neither parallel or the same because they have different slopes. Whenever their slopes are different, they are neither. All right. And that looks like that is quiz E. I think I've completed the whole quiz there for you. So hopefully this helps you, whether you need to retake it or whatever. And we will see you later. Bye.